So this is Steve Webb from Frost & Sullivan. I'm Vice President for Global Accounts and also Director of our Electronics and Security Division. And I'm here this morning with Jeff Killeen from GlobalSpec. Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning, Steve.
So could you tell me a little bit about yourself and GlobalSpec?
Certainly, I'm the CEO and Chairman of GlobalSpec. I've been in the information industry my whole life. Have worked both in traditional media and a little bit in e-commerce. And in the last 15 years or so, primarily in business-to-business web-based information services. GlobalSpec is a 10-year-old company that exists fundamentally because of the internet. We have largely displaced traditional methods and media platforms such as directories and, to a degree, trade shows and trade magazines with the advent of web-based marketing. But what we do, we serve the engineering community at the user level with a very robust database of parts and product data that comes from manufacturers' OEM catalogs. And we've put a very proprietary search engine on top of that lets engineers search for products and parts at spec, which is actually the number one business problem for the design engineer or a manufacturing knowledge worker worldwide. And we've built arguably the largest database of its type in the world that is product and part centric. So we have built a business model around that is a sales lead business model. Engineers come to globalspec.com to source products, to find suppliers across the entire manufacturing and industrial taxonomy. And our clients are typically big OEMs or big industrial distributors who are seeking to reach very targeted niche markets inside the manufacturing products marketplace. And what they get from us are very rich, very targeted sales leads.
Now, how has your business grown over the last 10 years?
Well, since 2002, the business has grown at a compounded annual growth rate of 45%. So we've been a high-growth company in a high-growth sector. And in terms of user dimensions, in 2002, when the business was about 4 years old, we had 194,000 registered users of our spec search databases, which is the products, parts databases I just mentioned. Today, at the beginning of 2010, we have 5.8 million registered users. And we've in addition to the registered users who come to the database, we've built out in that registered user community a suite of electronic newsletters, email newsletters, that cover niche markets from motion control to nanotechnology to electronic product design. And we have another 2 million of those 6 million, 5.8 million registered users who subscribe incrementally to the newsletters. And we are probably the largest business-to-business newsletter publisher in the manufacturing sector worldwide, with about 9 million subscriptions outstanding.
What is the most significant change that you've seen take place within the media and information services industry? And related to that, in terms of industrial sector marketing spend, both for traditional methods, trade shows, print, etc., and online methods, what trends do you see over the next few years?
The big shift is really one that's been widely reported, but I think under the numbers there's some pretty interesting things. The shift from print-based media, especially in the technical business-to-business markets, to electronic media, and in specific search engine-based behavior, where the desktop, the user desktop, has gone from a horizontal desktop to a vertical desktop. And in recent surveys that we've just conducted with our user community, literally 100% of their product discovery and market research activity is taking place online. Now, interestingly, the advertiser sector, the marketing sector, hasn't quite caught up with that shift to electronic lookups and electronic data discovery, which is a tremendous opportunity. And I think the manufacturers, 25 to 50% of our clients have genuinely engaged e-marketing and digital marketing and web-based marketing, online marketing. So there's a catch-up that's taking place as the marketing community is learning how to do web-based marketing, really for the first time. The users have been there for literally 10 years, and I think that catch-up will probably really compress over the next 12, 24, 36 months.
Your company provides targeted content for members of the engineering, technical, industrial communities via specialised search engines. How have you seen their information needs and how they gather work-related information change over the last few years?
Well, I think using the design engineer as a proxy for our typical user, the number one business problem they face is finding products and parts and suppliers. And it's a very difficult problem because oftentimes the manufacturing knowledge worker knows exactly what they want. They don't know, they can describe it, but they don't know if it exists and where might they find it. So the web facilitates that beautifully. Specialized vertical search engines like GlobalSpec, along with big mass market search engines like Google, are typically the number one and number two tools that are being used today by the global engineering community in product sourcing and product discovery. But in addition to that, a spectrum of workflow related tasks, patent searching, looking for application ideas or application notes from OEM product literature, looking for competitive intelligence. All these tasks today are taking place on the web, and what GlobalSpec has done is try to put a portfolio of those types of workflow applications together in one place. And our goal has always been to be ideally the definitive place for the manufacturing knowledge worker to tackle those primary workflow tasks. At the head of that list is finding parts, finding products, finding suppliers at the most detailed level possible.
And have you seen the same shift among suppliers in the industrial sector?
Suppliers are coming along with the whole internet movement very rapidly now. And I think the realization is they have to have a great website. The primary communication vehicle used to be a great catalog and a great distribution system or a great sales organization. But today the website both manages and promotes their brand, but more specifically, given what the design engineer or the purchase